or last two games, I should say, of the night. Once again, I am Kenos, joined by Prowler. Once again, congratulations on your victories in the last set there, Prowler.
Appreciate it again. Nice to get 2 wins.
All right, so we have Triple Strike here versus Northern Storm. Storm, of course, having very dominant performances so far in the LCUS. So Triple Strike looking to take some games off of them if possible. And we'll see how that goes. What are you looking forward to in this next set of games here, Prowler?
Northern Storm has been very dominant. They've won every single game that they've participated in so far. But they are without their mid laner, who's been drawing a lot of the bans. What I'll be looking for is the bans that are centered on people not named Kokoro no Nagi, and if that can kind of upset their comp a little bit.
Well, we were going into the champion select, but apparently we're not. So
Apparently, the champion select got banned there.
all right.
Interesting ban.
Oh, the game was made for blind pick instead of tournament pick.
Oh well, that makes it hard.
It's not the LCUS, and that doesn't happen at least once, so it's fine. All right, so that gives us a little bit more to discuss the change up there. So, like you said, missing your mid lane is obviously a big deal. Obviously, bringing in a sub that maybe people don't know can be a factor as well. But we'll have to see if the coordination takes a hit there.
And not just the coordination. I really want to step on how much, how many bans Kokoro no Nagi has drawn in the LCUS. Almost all three of the first bans are always dedicated to him. So having other people having to step up on not their preferred roles in the other 4 slots for their team, that's going to be the big thing, is if they can overcome that.
Yeah, definitely. So just seeing the impact of that is really going to be huge overall. Like you said, it's not just about it's not just about players, it's about how this impacts the entire strategy of both teams.
Absolutely.
And here's hoping that it's not necessarily the biggest impact in the world, but here's hoping it also mixes things up a little bit, because that's what we've been doing all games so far today, so mixing it up a little bit.
Everything today has been so random and different. It's nice to see, and I think with the time off too, we're going to see a lot of different champions coming into the LCS now that people have had time to practice and work around being banned out so much.
Definitely. Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm still expecting Anivia or Xerath from Ace, but we'll have to see how that works out.
I should say, as much as Kokoro's been drawing bans, Ace has been drawing just as many.
Right. All right. So here we go. In the proper batting format now, Misfortune getting taken out right away. Perfectly reasonable.
Especially on Port Swimmer, he's been doing amazing with Misfortune. They've been building comps around her ult, so getting that out of the way right away is a good thing. You're seeing the effects of Kokoro not participating already.
Yeah, and taking away the Ice Bird. Of course, big favorite champion of Ace's, but also just a really good champion overall.
The wave clear on Anivia, especially towards the late game, is not something to be underestimated. Always a good ban.
All right, and taking out a little bit of a different ban here on the Swain.
I'll just be over here, sharpening my feathers.
And the Swain's not exactly meta right now, so I'm thinking that's targeted towards Goon Stomp, the substitute mid laner for Northern Storm. Without doing some more research, I honestly don't know.
Yeah, it's nice to see Xayah taken out. I mean, obviously she's been a big impact, at least in the previous set of games, and in the LCUS in general. So getting her out of there, and Amumu's CC being moved to the table as well.
Yeah, they're affecting that entire comp that Northern Storm likes to go for. Maybe they'll turn them into more of a pick comp team. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, some bands that did get past this first round. Sejuani is still available. Sona and Cho'Gath. So a couple of high tier Kane as well. So a lot of high tier picks are still available here.
And there's your Sejuani dropping right away.
We see that right there. We'll see if Sona gets picked up as well here. I'm not sure if that would necessarily be a priority, but of course she does make a strong impact in the game she's picked.
Especially in the NA servers. I know when the new patches rolled around for Season 8, she was having an outstanding win rate in the NA and not so much in other divisions. So that was kind of a weird disconnect with North America and other servers.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Kha'Zix and Varus Varus, of course, very long-range artillery kind of ADC, and Kha'Zix's a nice gank character.
It's interesting that they go to an ADC right away with the Misfortune ban. I guess I would have expected them to be okay saving that for a little later, but obviously Port Swimmer needed something to switch up for the MF.
They might be a little concerned about possible further ADC bans, um, with the idea that, you know, Misfortune's gone already, who else might they take out of the alignment? So they may want to snag what they can right away.
And when you're getting down to your third and fourth preferred picks, it can be very disruptive to your playstyle.
Indeed. A Jinx pickup, obviously Jinx is a little immobile, but Tahm Kench can help keep her alive. Did see very good Tahm Kench plays earlier today.
And not even just this week. Tahm Kench has been an outstanding save for teams going back even a couple weeks before we took our Christmas breaks. Interesting that he kind of snuck into the LCUS. You know, he wasn't a champion that came in first. After a couple weeks, he was introduced, and it's been a popular pick among us.
Malzahar is the last pick here, so another really good way of shutting down that Jinx. As of course, as shutting down anybody. But
Life is too short for fear.
Malzahar's a fantastic champion.
Nice targeted ban there on Shaken.
I think we've all seen enough of Brad shaking not stirred Zalawi that I'm sad that I won't be seeing it, but if I was playing for Triple Strike, I'd probably want that out too.
So I go.
Shen banned out as well.
Another targeted ban against Greybeard of Odin up in the top lane.
Yeah, a lot of targeted bans for this first week, but also a lot of reasonable bans as well. It's not necessarily any that you can be that surprised about.
Cat's out of the bag a little bit there. Shaken Not Stirred has been working on Darius to go against Greybeard of Odin. Obviously, the research teams have found him out.
Well, banning Darius is always a good idea. I hate Darius with quite a passion.
He's fine until he Qs you and gets half his health back, and then you're just crying a little bit inside.
Right, most definitely. Ooh, a Galio pick. Nice to see Galio come up. He's not been that common in the LCUS.
That might actually be the first time Galio's come up, and he'll be an interesting. He's really good if you can get him into the mid lane because his ult allows him to roam. In the top lane, he can only really roam down to the mid lane, so I'll be looking for mid lane gigs to get Malzahar ahead, and maybe that's their idea because Malzahar's the newcomer. Try to get him ahead some, and he can help out the team a lot.
Alright, and then we have a Scion, who I believe is a favorite of Greybeard of Odin's.
Most definitely. You're seeing the tank comp coming out of our blue side here on Triple Strike. That's a lot to have to work through.
Yeah, that's a lot of meat. It'll be interesting to see how well Kha'Zix can do against that much durability.
I don't envy what he's got to do.
And there's the Xerath. What did I say? Alright, so we'll see what this last pick is here. We're looking for a, let's see here, support, I guess, unless Galio's going support.
Oceanic looks like he's picking for himself this time.
So we'll see what's left. Sona's still available. Leona, Blitzcrank. Okay, so support Malzahar then, maybe?
I would lean to... We'll see as they swap around here. I think they might just keep the Trundle in the support role. Definitely a troll pick, you know. You don't like to... I got puns too, Alonzi.
Yeah.
It's an interesting team comp coming out of our red team here, Northern Storm. I don't know what they're going for exactly. They got two tanks up front. They got the Kha'Zix to pick off people, and then you got your Malzahar and Varus.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting lineup for sure. As you said, you got a little bit more of the more traditional 3-tank lineup, where you've got the Scion Sejuani and Tahm Kench all able to make a strong front line and rather efficiently protect the Jinx and the Xerath, at least from forward attackers. I think Kha'Zix is really going to have to try to get a little more of those backline attacks, try to sneak in from the side or jump over the tanks and try to get something done before he gets killed.
Yeah, I see the game being centered around how well Triple Strike is able to peel for their carries, definitely. With Xerath being long range too, he might be a little bit further back, so I would expect Kha'Zix to be trying to hop onto Ace's Xerath. With that much tank and that much, kind of saving grace, I don't know if he's going to be able to get there, so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out when it comes time for team fights.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see what this Trundle does as a support. Obviously, he does have some disruption abilities with that pillar he can summon. and survivability as well. But of course, he is generally more of a more of a jungler, or at the very least, more of a top laner.
One of the key things about Northern Storm too is that they've been able to work out a 4-1 very well, where they have one split pusher. Early on, it was Udyr coming out of Fat Lee, and I think they were just lacking that. So maybe Trundle's the pick who can fill in as support, but also be a good split pusher late in the game.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see if they try to utilize that split pushing, or if they try to focus a little more on ganks and assassination. Um, because Jinx can be very vulnerable depending on the positioning that she chooses to assert herself with, especially once that Trundle gets going and can be more of an aggressive presence as opposed to just being a support character. Malzahar will be able to, of course, help with any sort of pickoff, so hopefully there isn't too much aggressive roaming coming out of Triple Strike, because they can get punished for that severely.
And I'd be looking for two definite mid lane ganks coming in from Northern Storm. They have the Galio who can hop down, and Kha'Zix can always be a danger patrolling around in his camouflage. So I'd be looking for, if not a gank straight up from the Kha'Zix, a dual gank with Galio joining in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and the simple fact that Malzahar can help trigger ganks on his own is going to be really difficult for Ace to handle, as if he ends up getting close enough for that to happen. I could see that if Storm does manage to coordinate very well, they could do like as soon as Malzahar hits 6, they're ready with a gank.
I'd say that's what I'd be going for if I was playing for Northern Storm right now. That suppression ult of Malzahar's is rough to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Varus' ult as well. It can't be overstated that if Varus manages to get off a good team ult, Kha'Zix could just have a pick of whoever he wants to go after. Galio's taunt could actually come into a great play as well. Galio could manage to taunt the tanks off of their squishier, charges, and that could open Jinx and Xerath up for a lot of pain.
And give him room to just go through, yeah. If Varus is able to land it ult, you'll have the Kha'Zix with 2 scythes in the wheat field, basically.
Right. Well, here we go for the second to last game of the night, Triple Strike versus Northern Storm, Game 1. Alright, skins have mostly decided the games today, so we will see if this goes that way as well.
And it was my Arclight Yorick intimidation that probably led our team to victory.
It was, yes. You weren't listening to the stream, but your Yorick is what tipped the balance both times.
Oh, outstanding. Again, I'm sorry, I'm talking too much about myself here.
Let's see what we got here.
Lane, I'm going to call it straight even in the top lane for skins. Mecha Zero Sign and Gatekeeper Galio both outstanding.
Mm-hmm. Darkstar Varus, of course, really cool. Death Blossom, Kha'Zix. I mean, probably giving this an edge to over there to Storm just because they have all skins.
Yeah, Chaosix didn't get the memo that skins, create the wins today.
Mm-hmm.
Should have picked a champion that he had a little better to represent with.
Well, maybe they'll make up for that in the next game. We'll have to see. All right.
Got the presents dropping in.
And off we go. That being said, I just got to give a shout out to Mecha Scion. Always got to acknowledge its existence. A second time. Even if your team didn't win the skin war, still won a place in many people's hearts.
Are you expecting an invasion coming out of either team?
I don't think the team comps necessarily call for it. Most of the champions on both sides take a while to get going. So I wouldn't necessarily think that they would be invading here.
If anything, I'd give the edge to blue team to Triple Strike if they went for the invade, but you're absolutely correct. There's no reason for either team to risk it at this point. Just quick 5-man posturing, and
yep.
we'll all go back to our buffs in a second here.
To our respective roles, respective lanes. Alright, probably a better timed jungle here than the last game. A lot of laughter. Sion's a very happy guy. Just a lot
very
of...
beautiful, and just want to make sure that we know that he's a very happy guy, too.
Yeah. Always nice to get that positivity out there. Alright, here we go. Um, Mid lane, of course, probably going to be a little more passive until they get a couple of levels into him.
Even so, I'm expecting Ace to go a little bit aggressive, try to get Malzahar out of lane, delay that 6 as long as possible. Against the Malzahar, he can't be too aggressive, though. That spell shield's rough to work with.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's probably one of the roughest things about facing off against a Malzahar, is just the fact that they gave him that spell shield as well. Particularly when you're a Xerath who has the ability to stun.
Yeah, taking that away is something you always got to be conscious of. He gets a free... oh, and I forgot the item already. He gets a free Banshee's Veil, basically, which is just a delightful thing for a champion to have.
Absolutely delightful. So we'll have to see. But yeah, Ace is being a little aggressive, taking off about a quarter of his health so far. Galio and Sion also exchanging some blows. Sion has decided not to go with his shield and went with his Q and E first. So we'll see if he decides to keep up the aggression or goes for his shield at 3. I'm sure he will.
Kha'Zix too finishes the buff before Sejuani and looks like he's rotating towards top. Sion's already warded, so should be aware of it.
Yep, is definitely aware of it. A little bit of a ping there. Sej is right there also, so that could get interesting. Doesn't look like she's going to take advantage of it, though.
Just being around and ready to go if need be.
Spots out the ward, so knows where the vision is. Spots out 2 wards, actually. Really good revealing there by the jungle vegetable. Kha'Zix, not to be deterred, kills the zombie ward.
They're clearly listening to the stream and just popping those words to impress us some here.
Alright, Kha'Zix once again comes back, doesn't realize that he's still being spotted.
And Rudy's just kind of letting the... I'm sorry, Great Beard of Odin is just letting the wave push towards him a little bit. Very hard to gank the top lane on the blue side because there's no good entrance. I'm surprised Kha'Zix is spending so much time in the top.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't really been doing that much. I mean, he did get the zombie ward, did place some wards around, does get rid of that fruit so that Sejuani can't easily follow him. Or easily come to, you know, some sort of gank aid. But both jungles are kind of killing a lot of time up here in the top lane.
I'm really surprised that, you know, if you're Chaos 6, maybe just observe that, hey, Kha'Zix is going to be up here and, you know, just play safe for a while, I'll go get some more camps.
Yeah, we'll just have to see if that, you know, punishes them. Of course, if both jungles are not doing anything, then neither is necessarily following behind. That's always the concern if you're spending too much time in one place or another, that the other jungler is getting ahead of you. But we'll have to see. Sejuani looked like she might have been considering a gank, but probably not the best idea. She's only level 3.
And Kha'Zix got a little more kill potential early on. Time to go get your jungle camps going.
Yeah, definitely try it. Got to get that wheel turning a little bit more. Lanes are relatively balanced at this point, though. It looks like Kha'Zix is about to try something here. Alright.
Blue taking their time running back. Flash is forcing the Tom.
Yeah, going for the Tom, but of course, just like in the previous games today, Tahm Kench's durability, thick skin, keeps him alive. Sion did go back, though, picked up a couple of items, going for that Null Magic Mantle to deal with the AP damage of Galio.
It's a good option right away. Falling behind in CS, though. Galio's up 13 at the moment.
Oh. Someone forgot to shift around the scoreboard. That silly goose.
Uh-oh.
What a jerk. There we go. Alright, that's a little better. So...
I'm not saying I'm the #1 person arguing for that. I'm just, you know, I'm just saying I'm here.
Sure. Every other lane, though, is relatively even in CS. Even the supports. So, that's relatively impressive. Hopefully Sion manages to pick up the pace a little bit. Malzahar being really aggressive. Both are at 6 now. Malz does have his ultimate, so Ace has got to be really careful.
And Ace wisely deciding to back. Kha'Zix look like he's setting up for a gank on the mid lane. Or again, maybe just posturing some. If Kha'Zix was a little further ahead, they might have been able to force that, but instead they're just backing off.
Yeah, and I mean, Kha'Zix is still right there. Obviously, Malz is going back because he hasn't gone back to base yet, or was thinking about it. It seems like he's changed his mind. So they could still get a gank out of this if they really wanted it. Ace doesn't have any wards protecting his left side. It looks like they do want it. Yeah, you see a level 6 Val's just coming at you.
Yeah, that's always a dead giveaway that something's up. Mal's goes from trying to back to running at you. Yeah, you know the jungler's nearby, and Ace wisely backs up some.
Yeah, both bot laners for Triple Strike go back as well, pick up some items. Checking at the gold. Yeah, I mean both Malzahar and Varus need to head back at some point, and Malz does now. But both a lot of gold burning holes in their pockets.
Yeah, and that's probably going to make a dent in the CS lead that they have. I'm really surprised Kha'Zix isn't ganking a little more. I think that getting ahead, especially for their carries who need to poke through a lot of tanks, is vital. There haven't been really good opportunities for Kha'Zix to hop in, though.
Yeah, definitely. Nice to see. The Scion did manage to push the lane a little bit. Got a lot of good harass off. So definitely establishing his presence in lane has caught up in CS quite reasonably. Interesting
that Galio's not building any armor to deal with the Scion. I know Scion's not a huge, damage threat, but
my guess would be that the Scion typically, especially I believe using the build that Greatbeard of Odin is running with, is a little more focused on magic damage. At least early on, using his E and just the little, I believe that's the meteor that he has equipped. So that seems to make just sense in terms of trying to avoid the damage from that kind of poke.
Being able to handle that some. It does build into the Abyssal Mask, which will of course benefit Galio too coming forward.
Yeah, little bit of poke going on here and there. Still, besides that Tom Kench early on, there hasn't been like someone in incredible danger getting picked off.
Oh, both teams playing it incredibly safe, and I think that's a testament to both teams doing very well in the LCUS. These are the premier teams. It's the premier matchup. We're seeing it, work out exactly how you'd expect. Where no team has a real advantage. We have a 100 gold lead going on to blue right now. Just two very evenly matched teams.
Big time invade going on here right now, though. We'll have to see how it works out. Trundle actually a little out of position as well. Well, yeah, really interesting to see how this positioning will work out in the next couple of minutes. Scion might be able to come down here and collapse on this Kha'Zix. Ult misses, unfortunately. Well, he had to jump out of it, of course, but Sejuani ult still doesn't manage to connect, which is unfortunate. So.
And that was the right play. They made the collapse and the invasion just missed.
Oh, Ace is in a lot of trouble though now.
That's a lot of damage.
That's the play that we figured was going to happen.
It's nice when the casters can be right about something for...
It's nice when the casters see the kill happen. Alright, so it didn't look like Kha'Zix wanted that kill. It looked like he was trying to give it to the Malzahar, but the red buff damage gave it to the Kha'Zix instead.
Yeah, and something that we had talked about too is with Goon being the newcomer to Northern Storm, they'd probably be looking to get him ahead some. Sad he didn't get it there, obviously, for Northern Storm, but Kha'Zix getting the kill is not bad for them at all. He's going to be blowing up that backline if they want to be successful later on.
Yeah, most definitely. So now we'll just have to see how Triple Strike comes back from the little bit of disappointment coming out there from missing that first blood.
And whether Northern Storm can use that lead to some extent. It had been relatively even. Are we going to see a snowball coming out now that they have somewhat of a lead that Kha'Zix can do a little more damage?
Yeah, I mean, especially with Kha'Zix, who's been roaming all game so far, not getting much done. Now with that, with a gold lead, with a kill lead, with an experience lead. And hopefully on Ace's side, he learns not to go down so many dark alleys. Alright, Jinx gets saved there by the Tom Kench. Tom Kench gets really beefy. Flashes again to get away. Does manage to get away. Sejuani comes in. Flash from the Kha'Zix. Alright, a couple of flashes burned there.
And that's been the story of the game so far, is small engages, burn your summoner spells, and live to fight another day.
Yeah, during that fight, Xerath and Malzahar were both posturing as to who was going to be heading back to help first. And who was going to try to take advantage of the other person turning their back. And both just kind of managed to move back and forth a little bit there. Didn't head in any particular direction. Though it looks like the Xerath is, once again, dark alleys. Oh, double flashes
Flash
there.
escape.
Yeah, that was a really good patience there by Ace to wait until the Malzahar was stunned to do that flash. Not to mention for the Malzahar to blow his own flash.
Yes, definitely. Hats off to Ace. That looked like it was going to be another Mal's ults and Ace goes down, and then we're looking at a big lead for Red coming out. Instead, Ace with the smart flash, and again, live to fight another day. Keep it going. Push the can down the line, so to speak.
Oh, ult coming out of
Coming up.
Ace here. No flash for the... Oh, good dodges though.
Goon stopped wearing his dancing shoes. You like to see that.
Oh, Jinx Rocket misses as well.
Good on Malzahar not to be content to stand on the tower alive with the Jinx and the other team.
Yeah, I actually would have been really interested to see if that Jinx could have shot that rocket a little bit sooner. Just because the Malzahar was dancing in a relatively small area. So the Jinx might have had a better shot of landing that rocket. But probably
And that's
didn't want
something, you know, that's...
Right. You don't know it until it happens.
And if, you know, that might be on your mid laner to call that out. If, you know, if he's too focused on his ult, he's, you know, you're never speaking when you're doing an ult like that. You're always too focused.
Of course.
That's one of those chewing gum and walking things. I was never able to. Galileo with the TP down.
Yeah, Galio's coming in here. Good stun there by the root. There goes that Varus ult again. Tom
Scion
Kenshin in a
gets
lot of
in too.
trouble as well. Yeah, Northern Storm getting a quick 3-0 lead here. Thanks again, mostly to all the suppression from their various abilities.
Yeah, that Malzahar ult has been chewing them up. That's 2/3 of their kills just off of that alone. And as you pointed out earlier, the Varus ultimate not to be underestimated at all.
Alright, so we'll have to see how Triple Strike recovers from this. Sejuani in a little bit of trouble. Should be able to get out of there.
And Fat Lee wins the smite off.
Jinx was thinking of coming to help, but not much left to do there. And some good aggressive warding coming there out of Northern Storm from this as well. 3 wards all in Triple Strike's bot jungle.
Yeah, they've got fantastic vision, and with them being ahead and with Malzahar able to roam and make the plays, that's going to come in handy. Triple Strike does have a control ward in the bot side jungle on red side. Not in a terrific spot though, and I don't know if they'll be able to move up and make plays on that one.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, at this point, like you said, it's all about if Triple Strike's going to be able to make some plays. They're going to have to, you know, maybe get a good Scion ult, catch that Malzahar. Because I mean, Malzahar is obviously scary when he uses his ult, but he's only scary if he uses his ult when aren't other people around. So assuming that someone comes in to help Ace, they should be okay. But Sejuani's been relatively absent in the mid lane.
Yeah, and you know, with Sejuani spending so much time top early on, I was expecting a little more of a camp, either in the mid or the top lane. Been taking a lot of camps instead, and is behind in the Kha'Zix because she hasn't gotten the same assists.
There goes that Scion ult just to get away. 3 people
And,
top lane right now.
A smart ult too. They have vision on the Malzahar right there, and you don't want to get another Mal's ult that gets you in trouble.
Yeah, Xerath taking advantage of the Mal's being out of position, or, you know, roaming, I should say, to put a lot of hurt on that turret.
Especially considering that his own turret is taking a lot of damage too. It'll be interesting to see if they try to force a gank to go for one of the mid turrets and get that first turret blood. Or first turret gold blood? I don't know what the technical term is.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Sejuani seemed like for a minute there she wanted to gank, and it was just offset by the fact that Scion was in trouble. At this point especially, her health isn't the greatest right now, though she did just heal up. And Xerath seemed like he wanted to go down as well. They might
Big
be
engage in the bot lane.
Yeah, they might be able to get this Varus. Jinx's ult misses, unfortunately. And now Vel'Koz comes in. Not Vel'Koz, Xerath. Kha'Zix. God.
Kha'Zix.
Kha'Zix comes in. There are so many Phantom Void champions, man. All
I'm pretty
the
sure
words.
there's a Taric somewhere in the jungle too.
Yeah. Legends say he's still hiding in there, waiting to get picked. Alright,
What do you
Sejuani
think
tried
about
to do a gank there, but Mouse fell back. There is a control ward that hasn't been spotted yet that's helping them out significantly.
And you'd like to see, Kha'Zix is kind of invading the bot side here. You'd like to see Blue try to make a play for the mid turret, kind of exchange first blood for first tower. Obviously, you know, it didn't work, but you'd like to see either Cyan roam with his ult and maybe engage in the bot lane side.
No, it's fine. Jinx is not... It's not fine for Jinx, though. Sejuani wanted to keep going in there, but obviously there wasn't any sort of follow-up to help with that. Galio's now coming to try to gank Ace in the mid lane. So we will see if Xerath's able to survive that. Tom Kench is wisely thinking of heading home, and he really should. He's pretty low.
Especially with Varus able to snipe out, and Trundle can probably take some tower aggro and still keep going on for a bit.
Looks like mid turret's probably going to be the first one to go down here. You've got Galio and Mal's poking on it. No hero coming to help. And there we go.
And they'll get the first turret.
Alright,
You
pushing.
would have liked to have seen Xerath to stick around and try to defend it at the same time. If you stay around and you die, then it's just an extra kill and the tower.
Right, and with bot tower getting taken down as well, either way it was going to, they were going to get first blood on turret. No reason to sacrifice yourself. Though Ace may be getting caught out here because, once again, there's a lot of ward coverage. Misses one of his abilities, that's unfortunate.
Gets the stun off but misses the damage ability, and that's one of those is a little more important.
Looks like red team here get the Rift Heralds. Alright.
Look at that too. Outstanding objective control by Northern Storm so far. They got the first turret, they got the first kill, they got the Rift Herald, they got the only Drake, and they have both towers to triple strikes none.
They have a lot of wards as well, once again. Ooh, really good job by that Trundle putting the slow totem in front of the Tom Kench, so when he threw Jinx up, he spit him right into a wall.
And with that 2 kill, they're going to drop the Rift Herald and look to push as hard as they can for the mid lane.
Yeah, up 6 kills, up 2 turrets, 3 turrets now. 6k gold. Definitely a significant lead all around. Here's hoping the Scion now gets a little more involved in the fights at this point in the game.
Yeah, I think we've seen Galio doing a lot more roaming and benefiting the team some. Scion not managing to extend a CS lead with Galio being absent, and the 3 assists are going to put Galio ahead in gold too.
Pillar of Ice, that's the official name.
Pillar of Ice.
Not really a Pillar of Ice, more mud at this point, but skins ruin everything.
And Northern Storm will take another Dragon. They have a Cloud and a Mountain Drake now.
Yeah, Mountain Drake, of course, will be especially helpful with them with all of the aggressive pushing they're doing. Alright, so with Triple Strike this far behind, at least in terms of momentum, if not overall game presence, what would you recommend they start doing now?
I think for Triple Strike, their team is based around winning as a group. You know, we saw in bot lane when Jinx got picked off, it was Sejuani and Tom Kench down there. They had to kind of back off because they don't have the kill pressure. So I'd say get a group, lock down either Malzahar or Varus, lock down someone with all the CC that they have, and try to force fights here.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a good idea. Something else I'd say is they definitely need to expand on their vision coverage a little bit. They have a lot of wards, but they're all in their own jungle. I feel like they could definitely put a ward or two in the top jungle of Northern Storm.
And Vision's always going to help you out. Red's just been playing such an outstanding game. It's hard to fault him for not putting defensive wards in, but you got to be looking for picks. You got to be looking to make plays when you're this far down.
All right, Jinx in a little trouble here. Probably going to get picked off.
Some
Val's
friendly BMing there from Goonstomp, feeling strong.
Good flash. Does get the suppression. Galio doing the ult, but doesn't manage to finalize it. Reasonable flash from the Jinx. Might get away with 40 hit points. Chase is on.
And she's got a long way to go before she's safe.
Yeah, we'll have to see. She is doing a cute little loop around here, but Galio sees it the whole way. Trying to see if you can get the execute timer. Does. Excellent job stalling for time there for the Jinx.
Well done keeping that timer going in your head, too.
Would have been nice to
gonna
know what like the exact second was on how much time she had to buy for that.
We'll have to pull our stats guys for that. Check the replay here.
All right, so yeah, like we said, good job by the Jinx keeping that alive there. They did get a catch. Oh, major misplay there by the Scion, ulting a wall. We've all done it. It's always sad to see.
You're seeing the difference in vision too that you talked about. Blue team had vision on the Kazakhs, they were calling for the pick, I assume it was the Sejuani doing that. And red team had vision on both the Sejuani and the Tom, and the wherewithal to collapse on it when it started.
Looks like they're trying another collapse here. Malzahar does use Ghost. A little bit of a waste of the ult there, I think, from the Xerath. I mean, obviously keeping him kind of honest, but at the same time, he was already running.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to Ace for trying to make a play. You see the Baron dropping here. I think that's a little more frustration than anything coming out.
Yeah, definitely. We got a an 8K goal lead now. Now almost 9, thanks to that turret. And that Baron push is going to be really rough. Four turrets, 8 kills, 2 dragons. It's just all really coming out for Northern Storm right now because, you know, they're doing so good with the rotations and with the picks, which of course obviously they are a very pick-heavy comp with the Malzahar.
Yeah, and even, you know, they have the Malzahar for the picks, but that hasn't been where the kills are coming from. It's a total team effort. You're seeing 4 assists on Galio and Kazakhs, and 5 on Varus and Trundle. The kills are well spread out. Just hats off to the team. They're playing better as a team than Blue is.
Right. Yeah, definitely, and it'll be interesting to see how Triple Strike decides to adapt to that in the next game. But of course, you know, this game isn't over yet. Picks can still happen. Trundle is rather exposed right now. There's no one there to capitalize on it. A lot of movement going on in the top lane right now. I think it'd be really cool to see if Jinx was a little bit, or if Jinx or Xerath for that matter were up in the top lane, if they could do like a Scion Sejuani combo ult and then layer on the damage after that.
And that's what they need to be looking for. I'm surprised again. They're, you know, hats off to Red Team for keeping them spread out, but they should be grouping on someone and looking to make plays with all the CC that they have. Instead, they're spreading out and allowing themselves to get picked time and again.
Yeah, it looks like they do scare off Northern Storm from top lane, probably just because they see middle as a juicier target.
A little closer to the inhib on that one instead of having to push through a whole turret.
Yeah, most definitely. We'll have to see if that capitalization works. Reasonable hits there by the Jinx. Does get caught out though by the Pillar of Ice. Good job following up though by a Sejuani. Unfortunately, can't finish it. Those are always the worst kills to lose.
Yeah, and that's been the story of the game, is that the tanks for Triple Strike have not been able to protect the carries. And Northern Storm as a team, you know, they're collapsing 3v2 there. Too spread out for Triple Strike. They need to force that team fight 5-on-5. That's where their team comp is going to be best.
Yeah, I think the Trundle pick's also doing a lot of work for him. That Pillar of Ice has really helped disrupt any sort of coordination that Triple Strike has had.
Absolutely.
Xerath is getting a lot of that damage out, though, on the Varus.
Oh, so close.
Scion's here. They may get the Malzahar. They do.
Tom Kench coming in behind.
Alright, so...
The first kill's always the hardest, so maybe they'll rebound off of this now.
Indeed. Alright, Infernal Drake gets picked up in the meantime by Northern Storm.
And they're starting a whole collection there. You know, if Cloud Drake comes their way soon, then they'll be able to trade them all in for something really good.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the next one's another Earthquake, so that's not going to happen. Oh, they may get the Kha'Zix here. Nope, gets that jump. Galio's here to help.
Nice. But good on blue. They're finally grouping as 5 here.
Yeah, they're grouping as
Net
5 and
CC,
they're moving.
especially in that chase. This
it's-
is where their team can shine.
Yeah, and it's a 3v5 still. I mean, obviously that Pillar of Ice helps shake it up, but they could have maintained that chase for a little bit at least. Nice of them not to get too greedy though. You know, they scared off a Kha'Zix. Take that as a win. Protect your inhibitor turns or your Nexus turns.
Yeah, go back and get some gold onto the Jinx and the Xerath and look to fight another day.
Speaking of gold and the Jinx and the Xerath, they're both at about 8, almost 9k, compared to their opposites who are both at 10.5k.
A little bit behind, and that's going to make a difference, but at this point, I mean, Blue's going to be behind. They're down 11,000. It's just a matter of learning to fight when you're behind that much.
Yeah, you know, getting those pickoffs. I mean, obviously they know that there's a lot of wards in that bush, in these bushes by Red Buff. All right, so they know that there's a lot of movement going on right now. They know that their wards are getting taken out. But they do also know that their Xerath, despite being, you know, not necessarily as successful as other characters, can do a lot of damage to their back line. We've seen that from his ult time and again now, and I really think that the Varus needs to be aware of it.
It's the tank's time to shine. It's Jinx's time to hide behind those tanks. She's 0-4, and that's, you know, not what she needed in your carries at the moment. Blue team has to force a fight. They have the engage. You can see the Galio's top. Now is your time to go.
Good job by the Tom Kench saving the Jinx.
Who again was trying to frontline herself. You got 3 tanks. Let them do their jobs. You're not fit for that role.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, Scion's the one who's kind of being left to deal with the split pushing. Obviously, he's a good person to help maintain presence in lane. Can probably fight the Galio at least for a while. But of course, then you're down 1 tank and 1 really good source of CC.
Yeah, and a really good engage part of that CC too. Obviously, a Scion ult's always scary when the train comes rolling through.
Looks like Galio's backing off a little bit. Alright. There goes the Xerath ult picking on the Varus, but not really landing many hits. That's unfortunate.
You know, when you're down, sometimes you can have a hard time landing
sure.
those skill shots. It starts to play in your mind when you're down, you know, 1 kill to 10.
Yeah, Baron coming back in 10 seconds. Northern Storm falling back just to pick that up. And we'll have to see what goes on here. I mean, Galio is obviously a character who can escape from where he is now, so he can keep being harassing, but I'd like to see Triple Strike kind of try to move up on him.
If you're Triple Strike, you gotta assume that red team's on Baron. They just, you know, if they're leaving, they're doing something instead of sieging you. So, you know, it's weird that blue isn't forcing more engages. I'm really surprised by that with all the tanks that they have that are able to do it.
Yeah, particularly just because with the sorry about that, guys. With a lot of the there have been 1 or 2 opportunities for it, and I think it's just the general fear that they can't you know, go toe to toe with very much of the rest of the team quite yet. That's really holding them back.
And that's the massive lead that's coming out. You know, it kind of gives you that fear. They have 1 of every Drake. They have the 10 kills. They have the 12,000 gold lead now.
They have
but you can't win a game. A couple Barons. You can't play the game playing that scared. You gotta be willing to, you know, trust your tanks to do their job. You gotta trust your carries to do theirs, and you gotta be willing to go when the opportunity's there.
Yeah, but I mean, it also needs to be said going in the right place. Like you don't want Jinx or Xerath being on the front line for an attack. You want to get that. You want to get that. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sejuani and Scion have to be the ones to force this here.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Sejuani and the Scion. And it looks like they could be able to do that right now. Though Jinx takes a lot of damage there. But, you know, Jinx's backline, a little bit shorter range, of course, but...
And we're seeing, you know, Sedge just standing way behind, so is Tom Kench. And Xerath's the one being forced kind of up onto the front line.
And meanwhile, you know, Sion is still stuck dealing with the split push.
I mean, I've had spaghetti noodles that weren't as wet as what they're hitting each other with.
For sure.
That's...
I mean, we'll have to see. Look, Xerath isn't actually really even in the fight right now. Instead, was going to... oh, really good hits on that Malzahar, though. Unfortunately, the rest of his team got taken out in the process.
And that's going to be a lot of dead base for blue here.
Indeed. Yeah, I think the... oh, Ace survives with 5 hit points there. That's the new record then.
That is the new record.
I think it's worth noting that a lot of this game came down to target priorities. Where, you know, who's defending what, what position should you be in for fights. And unfortunately, Triple Strike wasn't able to make that happen, at least for this first game.
And it's interesting that Northern Storm, with the sub, was able to bring so much of that togetherness. Hats off to Goonstomp for fitting into the comp so well. You know, and being able to rotate with the team, kind of take direction.
Yeah, everyone did a really good job there for Northern Storm, and of course they're gonna hope to carry that forward into the next game as well. All right, so we'll probably be jumping right into the next and final game of the night. Any thoughts before we go on a quick break?
I guess, you know, I don't think that blue needs to change. I'm sorry, blue. Triple Strike needs to change what they banned or anything like that. I think they just need to play to their comp a little bit better, and the game should be a lot more even, if not in their favor.
All right, well, let's see if it works out for them as we head into the final game of the night right after this. Don't go away.